What's up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video, part of our clan series, where we're taking a look at each clan and trying to decide which one is better. Is the male version better, or is the female version better? So we're going to do that. We get into here. Here's the rules. There's no fence sitting. At the end of the video, I'm going to make a determination, give you my opinion of which one is better, the male or the female. Sometimes both are good, sometimes both are bad. Sometimes they're very close, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna cheapen it. I'm not gonna to shy away from it. We're gonna make a decision. Now, they can, there's different comps that can be built around different things, and different ones are. That's why there's different classes. So, and that's why the male and the female have different abilities, so you can tech them into your team composition better. I'm just talking in general. In general, if you haven't quite grasped the concept of team composition, of how to build a strong composition, if you're just wondering, hey, I got the male, I got the female, which one should I put on my board? That's what we're going for. Now, keep in mind, when we're looking at the codex here, the codex is going to show you the highest ranked mythic version. So the stats that you might see on some of these abilities are going to be different than what you have in your hero pool. So you'll have to check out your own champion to figure out what your percentages are. But we're just we're gonna get down into the nitty-gritty here. So let's take a look. Today we are looking at the Zaess Clan. I don't know, they're the elven wizards. And so let's get into this. The male elven wizard, his passive, arcane ward. So he creates a ward at the back row of your formation when battle starts. The strength of all teammates within the ward is increased by 20%, and the strength of all enemies within the ward is reduced by 20% or less, depending on your version. Okay, so that's big. Now, as we go through this, you're going to see that he's more of a support utility type mage. Not a lot of damage. Okay, so what I would do if I were you, if you're going to use him, you want to put him in the 2 spot, in that middle spot, not the front line, not the back line. And then you would play 2 backline DPS that he's going to drop his ward on in the back line, right? This says creates a ward at the back row of your formation. Not creates a ward where he is, creates a ward in the back row. So I would personally put him in the middle and put some DPS on the back line there to increase their damage. And if any assassins get back there, it's going to hurt the assassin as well. Okay. All right. His active skill, Arcane Entanglement, deals constant damage to a single target for 5 seconds. So we got DOT. We like DOTs. We like AOEs. We like CCs. We like all the acronyms. That makes a skill better. So this is DOT, damage over time. Deals constant damage to a single target for 5 seconds. If the enemy casts an active skill or an ultimate skill, they take additional damage equal to a percentage of his strength. Okay? So he's going to cast this skill on somebody. It's going to do damage over time. And then it's also going to punish that target if they cast a skill. Okay, so there's some damage there. It's kind of like a shock collar for a dog, right? This ability is, it doesn't say how much damage it deals to them over the 5 seconds. It only tells you how much damage it deals to them if they try to cast an ability. So, again, with this being an autopiloted game, it's that 5 seconds might mean nothing. Right, he might do damage over 5 seconds, and it just so happens to be 5 seconds that no skill is cast, so you don't get that extra damage. So I think of it as more of a control mechanism than a damage mechanism, but it's good utility. Silence Ward creates a ward in the target area for 3 seconds, dealing damage equal to a percent of the caster's strength to all enemies within the ward and silencing them for 3 seconds. Now, silence in other games means they can't use their abilities. In this game, I'm guessing it just applies to the active abilities, not the ultimate abilities. Or it's malfunctioning, because in my gameplay, I've seen the computer put the ward around my team, some players or champions on my team, and that champion was still able to cast his ultimate ability while standing in the ward. So maybe it just silences their active skill and not their ultimate skill. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a bug that they'll work out. The game's relatively new right now, but that's big. It's a fairly big area that he puts on the ground, and it silences them and does DOT, damage over time, for 3 seconds. So that's big, but I definitely look at him as more of a support type character than a DPS type character. If you compare his strength to other strengths, his is relatively weak. So you see just here between him and the female, there's like 10,000 damage difference on their strength. So let's take a look at the female version. Okay, runic power during battle increases her crit rate by 40%. Okay, so that's a pretty strong passive. It doesn't have any great utility. It doesn't do anything for her teammates, but you drop her on the board and she instantly gets 40% more crit rate. Okay, we like crits. Okay, in most games, crits equals more damage. I'm assuming that's what it means in this game as well, even though it doesn't exactly tell us. But you drop her on the board, instantly 40% more crit rate. Okay, arcane missile. Fires 10 arcane missiles at the target, which explode upon impact, dealing damage percent of her strength within a small radius. Alright? So we got some AoE there. She fires a bunch of missiles. They all explode on the target and they hurt everybody around them. Pretty straightforward and simple. And then we have Arcane Explosion. Summons an arcane orb at the target area, which will charge up for a short while. I hate when it's specified as a short while instead of telling me how long. But again, it's an autopilot game, so I don't have to, you're not playing her, so you don't have to think, all right, I got 3 seconds, I got to figure out a way to throw this in and, hit them in 3 seconds, whatever. Which will charge up for a short while and then explode, dealing a percentage of damage based on strength to all enemies. So again, more DOT, more blast, more explosion. Pretty solid, pretty strong. So which one are we going to go with? These two are really close. And I would almost say that in general, you could play both of them together. These two probably complement each other better than most of the other ones I can think of just off the top of my head. A lot of them are either or. A lot of them doesn't make sense to have both. But these two he offers great utility, and if you drop her on the back line so he can boost her damage, she's doing all the damage with those 10 exploding arrows, and they're doing AoE. These two complement each other very well. But I'm going to say in a general comp with no team composition taken into account, I'm going to have to go with her because she has the better damage, the more consistent damage. She has that crit rate. So I'm going with the female because, again, not taking team composition into account. Okay? He needs to be in a specific composition to boost the specific backline, stuff like that. In general, I would say she's better, but these two, again, are very close. You can't go wrong with either of them. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm Belligerent. Like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Peace.